Today we're going to talk about pretrial detention. We're going to look at closely at the jail population and discuss the impact of jail on the people who are detained there. Okay, this is a subject I know pretty well. I was a jail officer straight out of college in Bozeman, Montana. Our jail had a maximum capacity of 50 in comparison to the Harris County Jail that has about 10 to 11,000 detainees on any given day. My initial experience was that the place was loud and chaotic. Sounds within a concrete structure echo very loudly. I had some shocking reactions to jail conditions. I was shocked that the seriously mentally ill were brought into the jails quite frequently. Jail officers were tasked with their care. Obviously, they do not have the education or experience for that job. Our county did not have a juvenile detention center, so juveniles were brought into our jail. Most were there for status offenses such as running away. I was shocked that about half of our jail population was there for alcohol and drug-related offenses. Alcoholism was an especially serious problem at that time, still is. I was also deeply impressed by many of my colleagues. They took their jobs very seriously and maintained tremendous professionalism under difficult circumstances. This figure provides a snapshot into who is locked up and where in this country as of 2024. You can see about 550,000 people are locked up in local jails. 448,000 of the 550,000 were not convicted of any offenses. They are in a pretrial phase. Only about 142,000, that's 25%, of those who were there pretrial were there for violent offenses. So if we look at this, in a general context, 81% of the jail population was not convicted of anything yet. In 2024, 19% of the jail population was serving a sentence of under a year. Including the convicted population, 70% were there for nonviolent crimes. And there were a total of 7 million people who entered jails in 2022. That's a lot of people. A recent Vera Institute study found that in Chicago and New York City, half of the jail admissions cycle in and out frequently, sometimes several times a year. Many of these people are brought in for very minor offenses. In fact, 25% of them were there for low-level misdemeanors. They concluded that there are costs related to lengthy jail stays. What do you think they mean by costs? What do you think are the costs in terms of the criminal justice system? And what do you think are the costs to the jail inmates? Pause this video and post your response to these questions in the discussion forum. All right, welcome back. One of the costs is that many people who have substance abuse disorders are more likely to have their treatment interrupted by their stay in jail. Jails rarely have the capacity to provide drug treatment. Deaths due to alcohol intoxication is a serious problem in many jails. The seriously mentally ill often do not receive the treatment they need for their disorders, and jail stays have been found to exacerbate their symptoms. The opioid epidemic illustrates the point about those in jails with addictions. Only about half of jails provide medication for withdrawal symptoms. Only a quarter of jails continue medication-assisted treatment for opioid addiction. This treatment has been found to be enormously effective in the treatment of this disorder. Only 19% continue medication-assisted treatment in jails. Recall that most people in jail are not convicted of any offenses. They are locked up awaiting trial or further processing. Why is that? Because they cannot afford to pay their bail. The median bail amount for a felony offense is $10,000. That's about 8 months' income for the typical detainee. This figure illustrates that the tremendous growth in jail populations has occurred due to the increase in the non-convicted population. All right, here are the big takeaways for this video. About 80% of jail detainees have not been convicted of any offenses. 70% are there for non-violent offenses, so they don't pose a great risk to the public. Many cycle in and out quite frequently. 2/3 have a substance abuse disorder. Treatment programs are uncommon or they're insufficient. Pretrial detention is increasing and the bail bond system plays a big role. One final point is that lengthy jail stays among the jail population leads to lost wages, lost jobs, deteriorating physical and mental health issues, loss of housing, and in many cases, loss of custody of the child.